What's going on, YouTube? How's everybody doing today? I was contemplating on doing this video, or I thought about it over and over and over again. And I think I gotta be fair and just do the video, because it wouldn't be fair to you guys to not explain everything of what's going on, and especially I'm just really confused by some things, and I figured I brought it up a couple times in the last video. I said I would let you know what happened, so I think it's time for me to let you know what all took place on this Carnival cruise that I went on. And I'm being fair, because initially I wasn't comparing the two cruise lines, but towards the end, you couldn't help it. So this isn't a cigar review. This is just airline / cruise ship review on this edition of Smoke What You Like. Alright, so we're just gonna go over a couple things. I gotta get this out there. I gotta get it off my chest. I mean, can't hold on to this. Alright, so as always, gotta get them up for me, guys. You ready? You ready? Let's get it. Get into it. All right. I'm going to be as fair, unbiased about this review as I can. Oh, for you guys that still need to know what I'm smoking, this is the Gurkha Reserve 12-year age. Really, really good cigar. I just always have burn issues with it. I don't think I've reviewed this one yet. Maybe I'll do a review on this one. But really, really decent cigar. Been out for a while. There's plenty of reviews online about it, but if you guys want me to do a review on it, I definitely will. But decent flavors. And I'm not the biggest Gurkha fan, but this is one that I don't mind smoking. So, let's get into what happened. If you remember, some reviews back, talked about when we went to St. Martin, when we went to Cozumel, and now when we went to Port Canaveral, or most of you know it is Orlando. All 3 flights we had problems with, but this one was the first time we were ever held over for a night. Luckily, we were in our home state, because when there's a weather-related delay, they're not required to, give you somewhere to stay or anything like that. That's what they said. So we didn't want to test that theory. So luckily, we were caught here. All right, but when we were caught in St. Martin, where which was bad, and the hotel said, you know what, they can't get you out today, don't worry about it, you guys can stay here, don't even go to the airport, you can stay if you want. Luckily, we got out that day. But if we wouldn't have, we would have just stayed there free of charge because they offered. Then we went to Cozumel. Flight after delay after delay after delay. And these are prime times of the year where there's no weather issues or anything, and they just couldn't get it together. Now, we're going to Orlando or Port Canaveral, whatever one you prefer to call it, and we cannot get out of Philly. First it was, pilot was late, then it started lightning within 20 miles of the airport, so you're not allowed to take off for 20 minutes, and every time the lightning is within 20 miles, the 20 minutes starts over. So finally, we get a break in the weather. The pilot pulls out onto the tarmac, gets in line to take off, and says, "Guys, I have to go back to the gate because I am illegal now," which means they have a certain amount of hours they're allowed to fly, and if their wheels are still on the ground and they haven't taken off yet, and they're over those allotted hours, they have to go back to the gate and get you new pilots. Fair. If I was working extra hours, and I get it. But safe. Be safe. But during this time, while we have to get back from the line that we're in to take off, to get back to the gate, there are no available gates because all the planes that couldn't land during all those 20-minute delays are now at the gate. So we have to wait for a gate to become available for us to pull into a gate to get the pilot off, to get a new pilot so that we can take off. A lot, right? So we're sitting there and sitting there. And sitting there. Finally, after about 30 minutes, we pull into the gate. But now, it's raining and lightning again. Get the new pilots, they get on. Pilot says, "Listen guys, I want to do my best to get you out of here. I have plenty of hours left, so you don't have to worry about anything going wrong with me. Just the weather. We just got to get a break in this weather again." So we're sitting. Finally get a text message. The flight that we're sitting on is canceled. Canceled. Don't you think they could have told us that? But no, they didn't. They let us get a text message. We get up. We're on our way to the front. The stewardess says, "Please go sit back down. This flight isn't canceled." I say, "Yes, it is. I'm looking at it. It's on my phone." Pilot hasn't received that word yet, so this flight isn't canceled. I'm like, "Okay, ma'am. It looks like it's canceled." She's like, "Please, I promise, it's still going off. We're still taking off." We get back to our seats for the pilot to stand up, put on his suit coat, and say, "Sorry, folks, this flight is canceled." So now, me and the wife get off. We do what most people do, start looking for another way to get there because we have to get there because we're going on a cruise. We do not want to be the people that fly in the same day and then try to make it to the cruise port. So we go to our option that we hate taking. It's personal, not to offend anybody, but we just don't like the raunchiness, or whatever you like to call it, of flying on Frontier. It's just, I don't know, you can see the difference in the passengers that you get from Spirit, the Frontier, the Southwest. to American to United. You can see the difference in passengers. So we just prefer not to take Frontier. But we end up looking, there's a flight available. They're the only airline left that's still flying out. So we book a flight same day to get to Orlando, Port Canaveral for you guys. But we booked the flight, we go, we're sitting at the gate, we're waiting. That flight is canceled too. Now, mind you, it was already delayed for 2 hours. It was going to take off at 10:30 at night. We had booked it to take off at 12:22. So we had booked it at like 8 o'clock once we had finally gotten. Now, mind you, we were sitting on the American flight from 3:15 to 7:30, 7:40. Just sitting on a plane. Now we're finally off the plane. We're booking another flight with Frontier, and we're sitting at the gate. We see the sign from the saying that the flight's about to take off. Up on the board, we see that change to whatever restaurant was over there, Chicken and Peach or something like that. We're like, sign usually changes. That's not a good thing. We go up and ask. They say the flight's been canceled. You sure got an email. So I didn't get an email. You should have got an email. I didn't get an email. You should have got an email. Looking at my emails, no email. 10 minutes after she said you should have got an email, I get an email that the flight was canceled when we booked it. Long story short, we end up back home after both airlines rebook us. Frontier rebooks us for a 5:30 flight. American rebooks us for a 6:15 flight. So our thought was we'll go there for the early one. If that one has issues, we'll hop on the next one. So we get there for the early one, which was Frontier. We're waiting in line. Everything looks to be a go. Get to the plane. Everybody's loading up. We see the pilots. We see the flight attendants or stewardess, whatever you like to call them, are getting on. Everything looks to be perfect. The lady picks up the mic. We think she's going to say start boarding. She goes, we're missing one flight attendant. We cannot start boarding process until that flight attendant gets here. Flight attendant finally gets there. About 15 or 20 minutes before the flight is supposed to take off. So we were supposed to be all on it. We were supposed to start boarding at 5:05. To be pulling out at 5:25. We didn't start boarding until about 5:20, which is throwing off my plan. If this doesn't work out, we can go get on the other flight. This is throwing off my plan. But I'm like, we're on the plane. Everybody's here. We're about to take off. Everything looks good. No worries. So we're sitting there. We're on the plane. We're just sitting there. No weather issues. Everything looks to be great. Looks to be a regular good day. But we're just sitting there. Finally, the captain comes on and says, hey, we did our pre-flight checks. Everything looks good with the plane. We're finishing up our loading. Before we push it out in any minute, and I could still get you there by late. We could still get there before 8 o'clock, so you guys will be good. I'm like, okay, this is what he said. But we're still sitting. Finally, the door closes. I feel the pusher that hooks up to the front wheel of the plane to push the plane back is just hooked up. It starts to push it back, stops, and we pull back up to the gate. And we're sitting. Pilot comes on again. Says, sorry. There was one more pre-flight check that needed to be done before we pulled out. We're going over it now. We'll be out in a second. After that flight check was done, we were on our way. Final takeoff. In line. So we get there. 8:10, 8:15. Finally make it. Long night, long day, and I know it's a long story for you guys, but that is the beginning of this carnival vacation. So, told you I would tell you what happened there. Now, you have to stay tuned to hear about this carnival shit. I have a story for you about that. And wait until you hear that story. You thought the flight, the delays were annoying and frustrating for me and the wife? Oh, carnival. Like I said, standards, Spirit, Frontier, Southwest, JetBlue. They're standards, the type of people, the type of atmosphere, what you expect, what's going to happen. They're standards. So, with that being said, please tune in for our next edition of Smoke What You Like, where we talk about standards on cruise ships and cruise lines. Because I have standards, and they work. I will talk to you on our next edition of Smoke What You Like / vacation. I don't want to say vacation from hell because it wasn't from hell. Vacation woes. But I need to be thankful and blessed that I get to take vacation, because there are people out there that at this moment in time have never even been on a vacation, never even been on a cruise, have never even left the state that they live in. So I need to be thankful and blessed about that, which I am. But that doesn't mean I have to lower my standard. I will catch you in the next edition of Smoke What You Like. Till then, keep smoking good cigars, keep enjoying your day, keep enjoying this beautiful weather, and hopefully, by the next review, I have a good shade for you guys, because I had to get this out before I didn't remember how, once you bag it, I get this out. So, see you then, guys, in our next edition. And remember, always smoke what you like what you smoke, and enjoy the content I'm bringing to you. Talk to you soon. Later.